There you go.
Okay. All right, we'll get started here. Let me know if you're not hearing me, because sometimes I speak a little too fast, so you can tell me to slow down. I'm going to go over soil prep. It's kind of about 5 steps or so. And then I'm going to go over kind of some questions people have had about pruning this year. It's about time to start doing that. And we go over some products that are going to be very helpful also as we go into the season. So it's kind of the steps that we'll take to go over some new things we just got in. So it's very exciting. Our first truck showed up Thursday in that snowstorm. So we're in sleet storm. So it was very fun for the new thing. So soil prepping. You are right on the edge of needing to do it. Now's the time. I wouldn't wait too much longer for your vegetable gardens, raised beds. Now's the time to do it because you need soil to rest for 6 to 8 weeks. Okay? If you want to get your spring vegetables in, you got to do it now within the next 2 weeks or so. If you're doing summer vegetables things, you have some time to let the soil rest. Okay? About 6 to 8 weeks, month or so, to let that soil break down into your soil beds. What you're going to need for that, and the amount you need, we can help you with at the end of the class. That changes per the size of your bed. But you need a good 2 to 3 inches of new soil in your garden beds. So fill it up with whatever you want, it doesn't matter, but those top 2 to 3 inches is what we're going to be talking about to get ready for your soil. So the steps, let's take 5 steps. It's very easy, but you got to keep on it, and you got to keep doing it every year. In Arizona, we do not have nutrients. They are gone within that planting season, and there's nothing left. You can't just expect the next year to have stuff. You will not get it. So you have to do it each year. It's a process, but it's very easy. So the first thing you're going to want to do is if you're doing a 50-50 mix of mulch. This is also our version of compost. So that's what this is. People mulch compost for us. This is what it is. Very fine stuff, very fine bark, needles, things like that. So this is what you're going to need. One of these, 2, one of these, manure. So you're going to do 50-50 on top of your soil. Both of these things are very hot. They are very high nitrogen. That is why they have to sit there in your soil, because they have to break down and get into your soil. So you want these to sit and rest. So 50-50, 2 to 3 inches, okay? With that, you're going to want to, you can either rototill this all in. It's about a shovel's depth. You want to mix it in. I would do everything I'm going to say all at once. Do not layer these items. You need to let them go. Mulch, manure, fertilizer. Just mix it all in. Let it rest. So with these 2 things, you're going to want to add some fertilizer. As I said, you got nothing in your soil. This is only going to add kind of nitrogen, which is great, but that's all it's going to add. I have some chairs over there if you need as well. Sorry, I can get them out. And I'm going to get up, over here too. I didn't know it was going to be so popular. Thank you for braving the weather. So, fruit and vegetable. The reason you want this one overall on purpose is this has 7% calcium. Calcium is what your plants need, your vegetables need to grow bigger, sweeter. They prevent blossom end rot on your tomatoes and squash and stuff. So that calcium is really important for here in your garden beds. So you want to do this with these 2 items. That's 3 steps, right? You've got 2 more. So the next one you're going to want to add is gypsum. Gypsum just kind of lightens up your soil, helps it kind of water through, get nutrients through. So just if you have like Prescott dirt or something in your soil, this just helps. The last thing you're going to need for the top of your soil is sulfur. This guy, let's see if he's got his numbers on him. He doesn't. He's the middle number, phosphorus kind of thing. You're going to want soil sulfur because, again, it adds nutrients to your soil. It's what they need to grow better, send out roots, stuff like that. Yeah. All the bags will kind of say, I would say, I mean, this will tell you per square feet how much you're going to need, so just follow the directions. These guys, you probably won't need more than like a cup, and even that's kind of generous. So there's very little amounts. And yes, it does help with acidity and stuff, all this. Yes.
Soil and roses grow well at a
Yes.
So you've got to get it down within an area of maybe 6 to 7.5.
Good luck. So she's talking about the pH, the levels that things need to grow, about 5, 6.5. You will very rarely get that here. That is a goal to go for, but you'll never usually go below 7 here because our water has so much pH. You're never going to get it below, but things have adapted to grow here. They try. But to help with your pH levels, doing this each year will help mitigate some of that. This helps bring down your pH level. This is why this is important. It will help bring it down. The nitrogen breaking down your soil helps. So you can do your best, but don't try and aim for 6.5. You're never going to get it. Behind you, and I'll get to you.
How long is that?
3 to 4 months. So it's a very slow release because it's pelletized.
How many years?
Oh, I mean, yeah. It's good. I'll tell you. So this is good each year. I mean, 3 to 4 years, but it does lessen each year about the usefulness of it. So, but I do have 10-pound bags. I was going to say this at the end, but my 10-pound bags, I buy one, get one right now because I'm trying to get rid of them and we're going to sell out of them and just do the 20s. So if you want to get them, I got a lot right now. And I know it's still 20 pounds, but at least it's in smaller bags for you. So throw that out there. Buy one, get one. Yes.
So you're talking about new beds. Does the same logic apply around our 20 trees and our 40 roses? Is it the same thing?
No, so that's a little different. So you do, so for things that are not in your garden bed, your old trees, your old shrubs, things like that, you can do mulch around the base of them. You can do that. I would do that in this winter time, but not right now because it's a little late to be doing that. But you really don't need to do that here if you don't want. The thing I would add is the all-purpose fertilizer. This is going to be good for all your old established things or anything that's not a fruit and veggie. You use this every 3 or 4 months. We go by the holidays, and you can do that with this. Halloween, New Year's, Easter, and 4th of July. Makes it easy. So I would use this stuff around it.
I mulch all 100 plants.
Yeah.
Then all I need for those is fertilizer.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, sulfur never hurts. It always helps. These additives will never hurt if you do them any time of the year because we just have nothing in our soil. So it's good to add them. Easter, 4th of July, Halloween, and New Year's. So if you haven't done it all winter, do it now. I know it's February. Do it now before things wake up because it will just boost them for when they're ready to grow. Yes, I would add the soil. You can use superphosphate or soil sulfur. They work the same way, it doesn't matter. But I would add one of those. Superphosphate. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So when you get this all in, 2-3 inches later, mix it in about a shovel's depth or a rototiller depth. Let it sit there for 6 to 8 weeks or at least 4 weeks if you can. So you just let it sit there. Do not touch it. Don't turn it again. Pray for snow and rain because that will help even everything out. You actually want that and add it in. So, yeah. I would let them go and maybe just do your additives. Yeah, because they'll burn if you do that. Yeah. No, sorry. She had garlic bulbs and stuff already in her garden bed. You don't want to mulch and manure over them because they'll probably fry them out, so just do the additives. No, that is very different. And I'll get into that too in a little bit. Yeah, so the one thing I wanted to mention that a lot of new people, the mistake they make, especially around here, is they'll put fresh leaves, fresh twigs, fresh things on top of their garden beds to compost down. That is the worst mistake you can do because it takes the nitrogen away from your plants, away from your soil. So if you go and plant things in there, there's no nutrients. The compost is taking it all. So you want to add in, you can add in your compost that you made. It has to be very well composted down, a small pile. Don't use fresh manure. If you use fresh manure, you'll get grubs in your soil, they'll eat your roots, and you got nothing left. So do not use fresh things. Let them sit to the side. We let ours sit for 6 months out in a thing down in Phoenix. So ours is very well composted. So you gotta let it sit out there. Doesn't have to be 6 months, maybe 4 or so. So don't add new things. That's all I have to say. So yes, this is composted down. You're good to go. I got nothing in it. They don't have weeds, grubs, things like that in them. So, yeah, we do it 6 months, so the smell goes down. It really doesn't have much of the smell, as much as you can get manure. So that's why we extra compost it, so the smell goes down. Because we don't want to load this into a Tesla and go, here. Yeah, mix it all together, no layering, do not layer. I'll give it to you in a second.
Sitting for a couple of years. It's mostly compost in there.
And you don't have to. I would just layer on top of it. Yeah.
Generally speaking, how long does it take?
It's a very long time, yeah. I mean, if you can get hot out in the sun and stuff, you can get it down to 4 to 6 months, but you really want them to be really decomposed, broken up. So as long as you see that, you're good to go. Yeah, so I had someone ask about wood chips. They were putting in the bottom of their garden box and then filling the soil. Those wood chips were fine because they were very broken down. If they were newer wood chips, I would say don't even touch that because it will take the nitrogen away from your soil. It does. I mean, I would maybe do mulch on top because it heats it up more and will break it down. Yeah. So, okay, so that is kind of your garden prep for your soils, your vegetable beds, garden beds, anything like that. Sorry about that, guys. For the springtime. So now's the time to do it. Don't wait much longer. Don't wait till the end of February. You'll run out of time. So you want to do it now for your cauliflower, broccoli, kale, lettuces that you're going to be putting in. Containers, if you have smaller containers, you do not want to use this because it will burn everything. You want to just use straight potting soil. This is our potting soil. You want to just do straight potting soil. You can add in these nutrients. Yeah, sorry about that. You can add in these nutrients. You can add in fertilizer, but do not do mulch or manure because it will just fry everything. It's just potting soil. Okay, any questions on the soil prep from there? I mean, that's kind of your gist. I'll go over a little bit more, but that is what you have to do. Worm castings you can do anytime. You can do them with this. It won't hurt. It always helps. Or you can do it right as you're beginning to plant. Yeah.
You don't have to do the potting soil too much in advance.
Yeah.
It's already ready to go.
Yeah, just throw it in whenever you're ready to plant. Yeah, it has a low-grade fertilizer in it as well, like a 555. Will not burn, so you can just plant it and things will already take off and do fertilizer later. So that 555 lasts for about a month and then it's gone. Just so you know, in here. You back. Okay. Make sure you got everything. Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you want successful gardens every year, do this every year, and you'll get consistency. If you guys have like tomatoes good one year, tomatoes good, not good the next year, they're like struggling, it's because you need to constantly do things. And do not do, if you're from the Midwest, do not do hydrated lime. You will fry everything, you will sterilize your soil. Hydrated lime raises our pH. You want to lower the pH. So I just want to throw that out there because a lot of people want the lime. Don't do it. Okay. That's our class. Thank you for coming. So I'll go over a couple things that I have found people have been asking questions about. Some products to get ready to use to get ready for spring. So it's still the same thing, just not soil. So, where is it? Go over this. So this product and this product. You got Dorm Run Oil, horticultural spray. This is the other name. And then Wilt Stop. These things are fabulous to get ready for spring and summer. Let's do the dormant spray first. This guy you'll be using in about a month, maybe around March, and you spray it on all your trees, even your deciduous trees, things that insects could come and lay eggs in, or they've been sitting there for a month and they're ready to come out, or all winter. This guy will take care of it. So if you have a lot of fruit trees, you want to use this because it'll help with the thrip in the springtime. It'll help with aphid control. All of that attacks your trees and you don't want to take care of and continually spray, use your dormant spray first. You cannot use it above, I think, 70 degrees. So you cannot use it in the summer. Use it in the fall and you use it in the spring. If you want to use it above, if it's still freezing at night, do it in the daytime, above 35, in the sun, and it will coat everything and kill it all out. So I always suggest this, especially if you've got fruit trees and things you want to not deal with in the springtime. Dormant spray. It's a very solid product. This guy, people don't know enough about. I love this thing. It's World Stop. You can use it any time of the year. It protects against almost everything. So if you have plants near the road that constantly get salt burn, this will protect against that. If you get wind and a lot of sun on a tree that's constantly flying, this will help with that. It brings down the temperature by a few degrees. If you've got a winter bird, this helps with that. This is constantly like a protected against our weather here in Arizona, especially. And it can work on most of your evergreens. You can do it once your trees have leaves. You can do it on them. The only thing I have to say with this is things that are blue, your cypress, your junipers, things that are blue, I would do a test run. Sometimes it can convert them back to green, and you don't want that. So just do a test on that. But everything else, this will protect against. If you got a live tree you bring in for the Christmas time, do it with this first, and you'll have less dry out, and then you can go and plant it better. So this is just a good all-around product. It also protects against some bugs, insects, stuff like that. But it really helps when you're planting things like in the summertime or the wintertime, protecting against that. So just wanted to say this because your planting season's coming up, or heat's coming, or wind is coming. This just helps. Yes, so if you do this early, it's a spray, you mix it in water, spray it, it will protect. You can do it in fruit trees so much before they fruit. So yeah. You wouldn't do it so much on small things because it just is pretty heavy, but especially for your bigger stuff. Any questions on those two products? Okay. Yeah.
Natural product.
It's a chemical, it's not necessarily organic, but it does so many days before they start budding and stuff like that. You don't want to do it when you're starting to do fruit, because you'll suffocate the fruit and stuff like that. It has instructions, I don't know them exactly, you have to look, but yeah, it is a chemical. Okay, do this really quick. This season's also, if you do this in the winter, you don't have to worry about it, but our seasons, it's a little forward. You're coming up for your weeds and things are going to start coming up here soon. If you want to mitigate some of that and not have to pull out as much, this is a pre-emergent weed and grass stopper. It's a great time to throw it down since you're doing everything else in your yard. And it just helps things from reseeding. So do not put it in a wildflower patch. Do not put it in things where you want to reseed because it will stop that. Just throw it down where your weeds are that you do not want to have to constantly deal with. And it just helps. It will not get rid of them all in the season. You'd have to kind of use it, but eventually it will kind of stop the progress of things. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Let me check the online class, see if they have any questions. Just want to make sure. Okay, we're good. All right, the other thing that I want to talk about really quick before I go over these cool new plants we've got is pruning. There's a whole class on it, so I'm not going to get very deep into it. But people have questions on when to prune right now. You want to prune the end of February, beginning of March. Roses, end of February, beginning of March. So when you kind of prune it, if you've already done some pruning, that's fine. But you want to kind of do it right before we get warm, because as soon as you want to cut things like roses, they're going to want to grow. You don't want them growing in the wintertime. They can handle it, you just don't really want it. So wait till the end of February, beginning of March. Great, yeah, prune them later. You can prune them in March. You can prune them a little bit later in the season because they grow later. So, but I would still do it end of February, beginning of March. Just don't prune your spring things. Forsythia, lilacs, things that bloom in the spring. You will lose all the blooms. Don't do that to yourself. So just leave those alone. You want to prune those as soon as you are done blooming. So that's just the big question people have had. If you prune, people have questions of how much to prune. If it is an established plant, you can prune a lot. You can prune like half the plant if you want. Grasses all the way down to the ground. If it's newer roses that went in last year or so, just do a little bit. Prune anything that's crossing, prune anything that you don't like, that's weird. Prune it to the base. Otherwise, just prune a little bit. But you can prune harsh too, and things will take it. Salvia, yeah, you want to prune that in the February, beginning of March. Yep, and you can hack that thing all the way down, so I can handle it. If you do things too soon, they may not just grow right for you. Like last year, my dad cut salvia back in like November. They didn't come up as great. So you just want to time it a little bit where it's a little bit warm. And we've had a very warm winter, so we're doing good. I know we just had the storm, but we're doing good. Any questions on anything I've talked about? Yeah. Yep, tree trimming as well. Yep, you want to do end of February, beginning of March. Yeah. Okay. You might if you're talking about fruit trees, if they're already budding, which some are already budding, you do light trimming or cut off limbs you don't like or things. Otherwise, everything else you can cut. All right. Anything else on this?
Is there any need to prune trees that are 2 years old?
Not really. Let them go. Unless, yeah, those are fine. Unless if there's a weird limb that you don't want that to grow too much. Otherwise, let it go. Or you can shape it as you like. Yeah, so, okay. So the fun things now. Great. And stop me anytime. But I'm going to go over a couple of new things we got in. Mostly we got in fruit trees. And we mostly got in our cocktail trees. Our 4-in-1s, 3-in-1s, things like that. So our other fruit trees, singulars, we'll get on our next truck in about a week or two. They're all coming in. We got a truck a week. So just keep checking back. I got perennials coming on Monday. A lot of different perennials from our Monrovia truck. So maybe come in the afternoon or on Tuesday so we can put them away. And then I have another truck coming Tuesday of shrubs and things. So we are ramping up for the season. We're getting there. These guys, oh, my cocktail trees. These are, if you're in a small yard, you're in PV at Granite Dells and you cannot do a whole lot, not Granite Dells, the granite one out there. You want a 4-in-1 because some of these things you need a fruiter with. You need 2. Not your pitted fruit, your nectarines, your peaches. You do not need 2, you just need 1. But your cherries, your apples, pears, sometimes you need 2 to make them fruit. So we just did a 4-in-1 so you don't have to think about it. You don't have to do it. And they all do well here. So I've got almost a 4-in-1, 3-in-1 and everything. So I got cherries, I have pears, I have apples. Let me block myself in here. Pear, I got 2 pears. And then these are all 4-in-1s. They tell you what's on them. I won't go over it now, it's a lot of talking. You can read the tags. These are all my different ones. This guy, he's special. He is my fruit cocktail. So he is 4 different things in one. It's not just pears, not just apples. I will read him. He's a nectarine. He is a peach, a plum. Yep, I guess it's a 3-in-1. Okay, 3-in-1. I do have a 4-in-1 coming. That's usually what we sell. So I have, this is a 3-in-1. It's great. It gets you 3 fruits in one. You don't have to plant a bunch of things. And these all kind of, they're not dwarves, but they do kind of get medium to tall, kind of 12 feet to 15 feet tall and wide. So that's to say, you can keep it smaller if you want, you just won't get as much fruit. So, but these are kind of all my specialty cocktails that we're getting. I also have kind of our dwarf peach and nectarine trees. So if you do want something small, or you want something to grow in a container because you don't have room in your yard to plant anything, that's what these guys would do. Great in containers, great in the ground. They only get, yeah. They do. Yep, they do great. Yeah, you have to water a little bit more, but they'll do fine. These probably get 6 to 10 feet tall and wide, kind of depending on the variety. But they do fabulous here, and everything's already budding. They're doing great. You don't really have to trim them. They'll just take care of themselves. Just do your fertilizer. So this is the new Arctic Bay, but miniature nectarines, the new variety we got in this year. It's a little bit, I don't know a lot about it. It's a little bit sweeter, I've heard. It is a white center. everything like that, but it does fabulous here. My manager, one of our managers, Amy, she just hid one away for herself because she's very excited to try it. So they're very fun. The other one we got was a peach. It was a honey baby peach, very sweet, very delicious. And if you do that calcium, you'll get big fruit. These are normal sized peaches. They're not just small, tiny things. Normal sized peaches are a tiny fruit tree. So they do great. Yeah, here you go. Yes. No, so all of our trees are grown enough where you get fruit the first year, but you do not want fruit the first year, if you can help it. You can leave 1 or 2 on, but you want them to focus on rooting out. You don't want them to do the fruit and then stay there as twigs. So take the fruit off if you can, let them root out, and then you can do it the second year. So you can plant, I mean, it's just such a warm winter, you can plant now and they'll be perfectly fine. Otherwise, March is a good time to do it through April, and then maybe the fall, September, October. But you can plant year round here. As long as you can dig in the soil, you can plant. It's just however you want to make it on yourself. If these guys, as soon as if it's still freezing, last freeze is Mother's Day, or second week in May or something like that. When they start budding and opening, you want to think about covering them if you can, just to protect them a little bit. You do not need to. It just helps them in their spring season. That's frost cloth or blanket over it or something. You don't need to do that. The other one I have, let me just say it was cute. Not everyone needs magnolias, but this is a royal star magnolia. It's a little bucket. We only have 2, but I thought it was cool. This does get like 10 by 10. It gets a little bit bigger, but it needs shade. So if you have full sun, this isn't going to work. Afternoon shade, morning sun, evening sun is fine. Morning shade for this guy, and it does get those bright, big white flowers on it and stuff like a normal magnolia. So I just thought I'd show that off. Otherwise, I think I talked about everything. You got your soil prep, got everything you need to be successful in the springtime. We can help you with how much you need. We have like a little cheat sheet down there, and I can tell you what you're going to need, how many bags. Other than that, you guys are doing solid. You're doing good.
Trees, how do you protect against
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna pray. And then, so the one thing you can mostly do is you can either cage the bottom, kind of cage it so it gets older. That's if you got deer, porcupine, things like that. As soon as you start getting things that want to eat the fruit, the birds and stuff, you want to do that sparkly string tape or CDs, and it's old school. CDs, those big owl things. But the thing with those, you don't want to start them too early. You don't want to put them on your tree just as they're fruiting and they're green, because the birds will get used to it as they start eating your fruit as soon as it's ready. So this time to put the stringers on and stuff is right as your fruit's ripening. Right as you think you're ready to eat them, maybe 2 weeks before, start throwing that up, and it will help protect against the birds. Other than that, there's not really like a repellent, things to keep them away. You just gotta put the stringers up and fencing. You could do some tree wrap. We have tree wrap. You can do the bottom up. It helps in case you're scratching. Otherwise, pray. No, that's right. So that's the best you can do.
So did you say a pear tree has to have 2?
So, yeah, pear trees have to have 2. Did you just get one?
Well, we adopted one from our son, and maybe that's it.
Yeah, just know if you know the variety, that's great, because there's only certain ones propagate with others. So like certain cherries only work with other cherries. They won't work with all of them. So you have to. We'll have cheat sheets out there that tell you what goes with what to help. But just make sure you can't just pick whatever you want. You got to be specific. And I'll get to you.
Could you talk a little bit about, like, after you plant it and the watering, how important that is?
Yeah.
I bought a cocktail tree last February, and I didn't water it enough, so I lost it. And
Bummer.
I think I wasn't aware that it had to be watered so often. So.
Yeah, so so you want to water year round here. There's just no way you can not do it. This winter time, you're only watering once a month or so till about March. This winter, we've been a little warmer. You might have had to do it twice a month. But when you plant them, you probably want to water them It depends on your soil, but about once or twice a week, but a really heavy soaking. You do not want to do these little soakings every day, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You want to do trees and shrubs, you want to do heavy soakings less often. So just really drown it and then leave it alone. You want them to dry out because we have a lot of caliche here. So when people water every day, nothing dries out and they rot and they get fungal. So once or twice a week, in the new growth season when they're starting to bloom, they're starting to fruit and everything, they're losing so much energy, they might need a little help. They might need extra water here and there. So depending on the size that you get is how much water. So if you get, I think this is a 10 gallon, this is 7 gallons. So you're probably doing 7 to 10 gallons at a time when you water it. You get a 20 gallon tree, you're doing 20 gallons of water when you water it. So we do have watering guide, planting guide down at the cash register that really helps with that. And our business cards have a little watering guide on the back that help. So we do have things that help guide you. So if people do wells here and everything, you don't want to do a well where the water touches the base of your tree. You want to well it outside, right where the limbs kind of end. That's where your root system is. So if your trees are 6 feet out, put your emitters or your well at 6 feet out. Keep expanding it. You can't let the wells sit there and stuff. Just do it away from your trunk. Otherwise, it'll rot it out and you'll kill it.
You're saying turn out in the winter, is that right?
Yeah, unless it's an underground one, then you can turn it on, but unless it's an underground one, then you can turn it on during the day and stuff, but normally you turn it off. Huh? Yeah, now's a great time, and then just really keep them watered because they're grasses, so not maybe once a week or so, if you can. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so if you are running out of time to do manure or mulch, do your potting soil. You can do that, plant it right away, 2 inches or so, and you can plant right in. So yes, you can use your garden beds, it's great. If you still need to rejuvenate it, I would still use the fertilizer, and I would still maybe do the sulfur. You can probably get away with without the gypsum, but I would still add some things, because this is not enough to rejuvenate your soil. Yeah, you still need to get some things going to get the nitrogen and the sulfur up and all of that. And calcium. We also have calcium nitrate. If you have all this ready to go and you're like, I want to plant tomatoes in the summer and I don't want to add anything yet, calcium nitrate added in the summer when you do your tomatoes, and it'll help protect against that blossom end rot. That's that black bottom you get on that stuff. It just protects against that. So many people get that here because you got to water so much, but there's nothing in the soil. So it helps. Anything else? Let me check online really quick. Okay. So I forgot this, but I do have handouts for you guys. I printed it out and I forgot to bring it up. So it'll be at the cash register. If you want handouts for today's class, it's going to be your veggie calendar. That's going to be one. So basically what I just talked about will be a handout on that. Soil prep, kind of your guidelines. And then it will be one other thing. I don't remember, but it'll be good. So if you want to do that, I'll have it at the register. I apologize for not having it up now. I'll have 2 different sheets so you don't have to wait as long. And then we'll email that out to you guys. If you're a garden member, it's not the same thing. It will not correlate. You have to put, if you want it, give me your name and your email on that sheet and you'll get it. Online class, I've already sent it out to you guys. I'll make sure you guys get it on your Facebook page. We'll get it to you guys. Anything else? I got your questions? I know that was quick, but I'm a quick speaker, so I get stuff done. But I get to shut up, you guys, and I'll be up here to answer extra questions for you. Now, let me just end that live really quick.